One. What's going on, guys? It's Matt Marinoff, Real Estate Recovery Group. How y'all doing today? My special guest is Tina Strange, all the way from California. And I got to say it, everybody needs a little strange in their life. So I'm happy to have her on. Happy to have her on. Absolutely. Tina and I have been following each other for a little bit over about a year and a half or so. And she has an interesting story. She's got a pretty cool background, and I like her spirit. I like her spunk. So I wanted to have her on, and we're going to be talking about working with first-time home buyers, and obviously educating them and pointing them in the right direction. And there's a lot of people in this industry, obviously, that are not pointing people in the right direction, and they're really putting the profit before the people. And I like Tina because Tina puts the people before the profit. Hey, so that works out fine, and I'm excited to have. So let me give a little bit of an intro on yourself. Right now, Tina Strange is she's a real estate professional in California. She likes to focus on educating and helping first-time home buyers achieve real estate goals. I like that. She also focuses on the education because she believes too many people go into the process blindly, and absolutely, I agree with this last part, later on regret their decisions, which is huge. They just do as they're told. They really have no clue of what's happening with the process and what they're doing as far as moving forward. So obviously, Tina is helping homeowners with homeownership with the keys to success. See what I did there? The key, right? The keys to success, which obviously is very important. Tina is also an amazing loan signing agent, notary, which is an extension of a real estate business. Tina's past experience is a former landlord, tenant, paralegal. She's a writer. She has written articles for magazines such as Playboy magazine. I'm only kidding. The healthcare profession, and comedy ghostwriter for famous comedians. Now I know why you get my sense of humor. Copy writer for radio news. She is also has a BA degree in journalism and master's in public policy administration. It's funny, you got a BA degree, and I have a BS degree. Bullshit. So
but it helps. It helps.
100%. I love having you on today.
Tina, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Tell my guests a little about yourself, other than what I actually basically just described about you.
Well, I like to say I'm Tina Strange, and I live here in California, Southern California. A lot of people think all of California is just California. We have a lot of investors, especially new investors. They say, I want to invest in California. And I'm like, okay, where at in California? They're like, California. I'm like, okay, there's the northern part, but you have Fresno, Sacramento, and then you have Southern California, sunny Southern California, where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like Los Angeles. So I've been here, grew up in Los Angeles or California. I've been here all my life, so I'm a native. And I would love to venture out and go to another state one of these years, but I'm a little spoiled with our weather. So, and other things, I have family here. I have two boys. I have a 15-year-old and a 31-year-old. So I'm kind of telling my age.
Got you. So yeah, we're going to say you're a 31-year-old. So you were 40. Yes. You were 40. You're 40 years old, right?
Yeah.
So you're a very lighthearted individual. You definitely like to have a good time. You like to joke around with people.
I do.
Which is obviously very important in the industry that we're in. People take things, unfortunately, not too lightly. And there's a lot of stuff going on right now across the United States, um, which we have two concerns going on, with everything that's going on, the COVID, and then we also have the other issues with people feeling that they're being betrayed, and not being able to be looked at as, specific individuals. Um, to me, like, everybody is everybody, and I just wish that everybody could get along. One thing that I did notice what was going on, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a lot of rioting going on the last month or so, but nobody cared enough to protect themselves from COVID-19. There was no social distancing, no 6 feet, no masks. So it's kind of like, what's going to happen next month? It's crazy right now in 2020.
Well, I don't even want to get in that topic because it's just crazy how the world is just turned
Yeah,
overnight,
it's hard.
and then it's kind of funny how when the media wants to transition and take the issue off of them, or it's just a distraction,
Correct.
they create more distractions, and that's what it is. And here's the thing, and bringing it to real estate, when you don't do your research, and if you only take what the media says face value, then you get chaos. You get a lot of people running around, don't even know what the causes are for. It's just, I am learning, and I had this, and COVID has taught me a big lesson to really, and do my research.
Yeah.
Stop just listening to what a person, what the media says. I have to go out there and do extensive research. And with social media, with the internet, there is no reason for us to be not in the know, and not at least having some understanding of what's going on. And even like with the voting and all that, a lot of times if you're a certain, like if you're black, you're automatically, you're, for the most part, you're going to vote Democrat. And why? Because somebody told you to do it. And until we start educating ourselves, and that's something I'll be addressing in one of the questions we'll discuss. Until we start educating ourselves and learning um, for ourselves, we're going to always be led off the cliff.
I I agree with you 150%. There's nowhere else to turn with that. So let's turn away from the social media. Let's turn away, from the loud noise that's going on in the general pop right now, and let's turn away from the COVID-19. Let's tune in a little bit on you, and I have a couple questions that I want to ask. Um,
Okay.
and I think it's really important that people understand who you are as an individual. I have your information on the bottom of the screen. Guys, throughout the show, I either put the information for my guests on the bottom as a ticker, goes across the bottom. I put my information up, and then where it says Real Talk right now, I might drop Tina's information in there and flip flop. So looking at the bottom of the information screen is important because it actually shows the questions and the topics that we're talking about. So if you guys want to reach out to Tina after the show, please don't call and text her now. I know she's beautiful. I know you guys want to talk to her. I know you want to FaceTime, but right now is our time. So let's
Yeah.
respect that. But if you want to reach out to her directly, you can reach her at 661-249-9316. Her number again is 661-249-9316. Tina Strange is my guest today. Tina, let's get into it.
Let's
One of
go.
one of the first questions I want to ask is, how did you get started in real estate?
Oh wow. I got started in real estate actually at an early age. I
Okay.
have an uncle. Actually, I have two uncles who are brokers and have been, but my one uncle who is a lot older than the other. He's been in real estate. He started with Century 21, and I used to stuff his envelopes. And then when I got of age, I used to go and, I do the door knocking and put literature on the door for them. And I would go to the courthouse and get all types of information on foreclosures or whatever it was that he needed me to do for him. And so that's how I actually got into real estate. And it was several times throughout my, in my younger years when I would connect with him when I wasn't working. I'm like, hey, uncle, though he never really paid me. I don't know how I kept going back, but
Well, you know what? He was like a mentor. He was a mentor to you, right?
yes, yes, yes. So I remember this one time, this is back in the day when you could, as long as you took the principal test, you were attempted to take your, take your test for to get do the exam. You can
Right.
work under someone's license. And so, well, like apprenticeship. And so I remember I was out there and I started doing my own flyers. This when my knees were real good. I was younger and, I was, all excited. I would do my own flyers, put them out there on the, on the doors. And I remember getting this one buyer who wanted to buy a home. It was a VA. And I was so excited because I won my first bid. Now I kept on saying, did I overbid? Did I overbid? So I was kind of questioning it. And it didn't work out because at that time, he didn't tell us, he didn't disclose everything that was on his credit. And then once they found out about his credit, it didn't go through, but it was a great experience. Though I ran back to the workplace because I'm like, forget this. I can go back to work. So that's how I got into real estate, with, introduction at an early age from my uncle.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, that's
Yeah.
that's the short version of how you got into real estate. Uh,
Yes.
how old were you when you were doing that stuff?
Look, I was stuffing envelopes probably when I was 7.
Okay.
I was stuffing envelopes.
So he wasn't too worried about child labor laws back then.
Didn't I tell you I wasn't getting paid?
That is true. That is true. But you
Then
know
on
what?
top,
But you learned something that most people don't. Most people don't understand the foundation of this industry.
yeah,
You're talking about the stress part of the industry. Most people try to jump into things, and really what they're doing, they're jumping into vehicles that don't have cars and they don't have safety seatbelts. There's no restraints. So the people that get into real estate that I've seen are literally driving sports cars with no seatbelts and no seats. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So
exactly.
so I get it. This next one might be, and I picked this one because everybody has the types of regrets. I know one of your biggest regrets is that you and I didn't get married, and I get that. I get it. I hear you.
I know I would be a millionaire by now.
Well, I don't know about that.
Millionaire.
I don't know about that, but we definitely would have made some good-looking babies. That's for sure. So, Tina,
Yes.
what is really one of your biggest regrets?
I have a lot of regrets, which are lessons learned, and I hate to say regrets, but you know what? Let's be real. They are regrets. When you think about decisions you made or didn't make, and so in a sense, they are regrets. We can't go back and well, we can currently make up those things, make up for those loss or whatever. But
Mhm.
I'll say one of my regrets was not being informed. And I'm going to break that into 3 parts. One, not really learning about money and investing wisely. And so this had to do like even with how I squandered my 401k once I got into the workplace and was making really great money, because I wasn't really informed, didn't have any knowledge, running behind my friends and trying to keep up. like keep up with the Joneses, you shopping and, you know, going on these fabulous trips. We see a lot of that on social media these days where everybody's taking like 10 and 15 trips in a year. And I'm like, wow, but I remember there was a time when, with me and my girlfriends, we would be just, kind of living a life, and at that time, really being an entrepreneur or having some type of small business was not really in my on my radar. When I decided to leave real estate after just being frustrated, I went through some things. I even tried to do I hooked up with this one realtor who was on the loan, on the lending side. And so I kind of worked as a loan processor, but I closed a few loans. We were doing refis. And because of my nature, like I've always been a nice person, and that's one of the things we'll talk about. I've always been really nice and giving. So I couldn't see myself making a living off of someone who was barely making it. So I will always kind of forfeit my commissions. And so the broker I was working on, she's like, Tina, you can't give away all your money. And I'm like, it's not my money, it's their money. And that's the way I saw it. So going back to the first topic of not learning about money and then just learning about investing my money wisely. I had this money in my 401k, and it was, you could easily get access to that money. And I can't even tell you how many times I've paid the same credit cards over and over and over, taking out large sums of money out of my 401k to pay off credit cards and debt that I just continue to run up. And, we always fool ourselves. We tell ourselves, okay, I'm going to pay this off, and I'm not going to run these cars. I'm not going to use these cars. It's going to be for emergency. Well, if you see a cute pink blouse, that's an emergency, right?
Oh, yeah, it's an emergency.
That's an emergency. A woman needs her pink.
Yeah. And you know what? What if the pants don't match?
Exactly. And then the shoes, that's just
Yeah.
like, that's just like when you do some, you want to clean your house and you wipe one wall, and next thing you don't wiped all the walls, and you mop the floor, or you say, I'm just going to paint this wall. Then it just turns into a big project. And that's how the shop.
We're actually in the process right now of repainting our house, and
Uh-huh.
we can't decide what color gray. So there's multiple grays all over all the walls in the house. So my wife's like, just out of curiosity, but if we actually pick a color, are we painting? I said, no, we're just going to leave it like this. Looks good. So, yeah, you put paint on one wall, it doesn't look right. You put it on another wall, and then now we're committed to actually making a change in painting. So I hear what you.
But guess what? Now you're gonna need some new furniture. Then you're gonna need a new TV.
Yeah, my wife watches and listens to this now. Do not give her any ideas, please.
Yes. So that was that biggest regrets is not learning about money and using that money wisely. And then being afraid to take a risk.
Right.
We're not afraid to go and plop down thousands of dollars on a used raggedy car, or even a car that we know we can't afford.
Right.
But then when it comes to real estate, it's like, oh no, I don't want to go into a 30-year loan. That's forever. And we have all these hangups when it comes to investing in real estate, in something that's going to for longevity. We are quick to throw out big dollars for things that will disappear, or tear up, or not be around. And then I remember my uncle telling me at an early age that I should have invested into some condominiums in a really nice area. But at that time, I didn't understand. Though my uncle, I love him to death, and he introduced me to real estate, really never was that real mentor that kind of explained why. And this is why when I made this decision to get my license, I want, like you said, I want to educate people. I don't want them. It's not. It's more than just getting a house or buying a house or even buying investment properties. You really need to know the all the whys, the hows, what happens
I
before, in the
agree.
middle, and after. And so I didn't really understand that. And I just remember my dad telling me all the don'ts of how not to buy a home. So at that time, buying condominiums, like who buys an apartment? That was my mindset. And at that time, they were short sales too. Those properties were in foreclosures. I could have gotten those properties for little of nothing, but because I listened to my dad, I love him to death. But he just like, nobody buys an apartment. You don't buy one across the street. It was just all these don'ts, but never told me about the do's.
Yeah. Well,
So that's
that's a
my biggest
problem.
regrets.
That's a problem because I've never read the book, but I know Rich Dad Poor Dad. I understand the concept. There was a rich dad and there was a poor dad. Well, at least I think that's the concept. But when you have
Yeah,
somebody in your life that's negative, and you don't have somebody in your life that's positive, you're focusing on the negative, but you're thinking about the positive, which is so
mhm.
sad because ultimately it makes people so fearful of success that they stay in their comfort zone. And then when they stay in their comfort zone, they never get out of it. And they always have the case of these, I want skis or I should haves or what have you. So when somebody goes into a 15-year mortgage, and honestly, I don't write mortgages and I'm not a mortgage professional. I have to think to myself, what happens if they have bad 2-3 months and they can't make that 15-year payment? But if it was a 30-year payment, they could make it. So why not go into a 30-year mortgage and just accelerate the payments by paying more money? You could probably turn it into a 15-year mortgage. So I
Yes.
understand the education side that you want, or you want people to understand. So that's important. Look, if you could describe yourself in one word, what would it be and why?
Um, Caring. And this is what I've been kind of driving on. I'm just one of those caring people. Um, I want, because I had the rich dad and the poor dad, but neither one really explained or told me. They just told me one side of it, which
Mhm.
still really wasn't enough. And so I just have this caring spirit. I have this giving spirit. And I've learned that giving doesn't always mean giving money, but helping people, educating people. Even if I'm not the most experienced realtor, I have some experiences. I have enough life experiences to help those who don't understand or um, don't have the mentors or the coaches or even the parents to teach them or have shown them the way. A lot of people, all they knew was an apartment. I grew up in homes, so though my parent, my dad did tell me about the don'ts of buying a home, I did have some understanding of home ownership. I did understand. I can't just say that I was just totally ignorant or illiterate about the process. But as I got older and I began to buy property, and I've learned just from my experiences I had some awesome realtors who helped me buy um, 3 pieces of property, but I didn't get that education. It was more of, I held their hands, I waited for them to tell me. So kind of, I was always in the wait. I didn't understand. And so for me as a realtor, I don't care if I just have one person. If I can help that one person, and any one of my clients you talk to, they will tell you they understood going in. They got that education, so they knew what was happening before, what to do. They knew what to do, what not to do. They knew what was happening in that process. of the escrow. So they didn't have to just sit there like, okay, I wonder when I'm gonna have to pay, what I'm gonna do. They knew. I give them this whole will that briefly explains what happens in the process, and each phase that they go in, I'll send them an email. Look, you in this phase, and this is what happened in this phase. Now, while I can't tell them everything, I can't walk their journey, but I can kind of guide them through it, and so they at least know what to expect. And then even when you hand over the keys, there's a whole bunch of what afters, you know. Okay, when you get the keys, now what? I need you to know what happens after you get the keys. What happens when you get that supplemental bill or you get that refund? Do you spend the refund? And as a loan signing agent, I know as a notary, my job is only to, I do explain. Having that background helps so much. And a lot of people go to a lot of first time buyers because I do the purchases as well. A lot of those buyers, they have no clue. They have no clue about what is really going on other than they get ready to get some keys and move in a house. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you really, I don't know, do you have a website? Do you offer this type of knowledge for?
You know what? I do have a website, tinastrange.com, but I'm building it out to make it more educational, to like really build up my real estate. So when people go to that website, they are really learning. When I put that website together, every month I'm just going in there and just it's looking different and a lot better. It's more content. I'm putting more content there because I'm realizing, here's the thing, you listening to people, they telling you, you got to get, I just had to get a lot of people out of my head.
Absolutely.
People telling me what I do know and what I don't know. And so it kind of, I have to admit, my confidence was a little shattered for a while. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm a damn good realtor. I know what the hell I'm talking about.
That's good.
And it's not about, yes, I want to, of course we all want to make those top dollars, but at the end of the day, I even had a client who is getting pushed out this market because it's crazy how before COVID, people are just kind of relaxed about it. Things were set on the market for like 110 days. Now it's like one listing gets 16 offers on it, and people are bidding like 40 and 50,000 over, waiving. Oh my gosh, waiving. And it has to be investors, because if you get in a loan, the lender is not going to let you waive. Pretty much, it's not going to let a buyer waive the inspection and an appraisal. But that's what I'm finding. People are waiving or saying they're going to waive the appraisal and the inspection, and just skipping a whole bunch of processes I guess, to win the bid. I'm not going to allow my client to do that. I'm like, look, there's no rush unless you're just going to be homeless. But even still, we're not going to waive these important things. I can't. I've done that before on an investment property. That's a big regret. Waive the inspection. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That
No,
thing
I
cost
feel
me
it.
some hundreds of $1,000s. So no, I don't care what other people are doing out there and instructing their buyers. If they're experienced buyers, that's one thing. But first time buyers, we not going to have that type of relationship. Not with me.
So, and I can appreciate the first time buyer stuff. What type of encouraging word or words would you give someone who's struggling in their business or thinking about actually quitting? What type of encouragement would you give someone? It doesn't necessarily have to be in real estate, but if someone's passionate about something, obviously you are. It sounds like in your career, you actually failed forward, which is amazing. people usually just fail. And if you look over my head here, it says success or fail. And then it's like fail, 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 success, fail, success. That's been my career. A lot of failure to get to success because people are always like, there's so many naysayers out there, or there's so many haters in the industry. And I realize if somebody's a hater to me and they follow me, then they're a big, huge fan. That's how I look at it. So,
Yes.
what would you give somebody as far as in struggling and encouraging words?
First of all, I want to say that if you are struggling in your business or struggling in your personal life, no, just you have to know that you are an amazing person, that you can do it. You have it. Everything that you need is within you. You know, we are always seeking forces outside of us when God has given us all the tools we need. We have the talents, we have the intelligence. You know, we just have to, a lot of times we stop because we're lazy, or we don't want to put in the work, or two, we think we're doing it wrong. We look at other people's success, but what it's the whole thing. We only see the output or the end result. We don't see the work that they've put in. Like you said, fail. A lot of business owners, these top companies, these these owners have had like many businesses. This wasn't their first Nike product. This Nike, the owner of Nike, that probably wasn't his first attempt at a business. Or even had different visions or different businesses, and some pan out for a while, some fail, but you keep going. And you have to be on your own timeline. And this is what I'm learning in my own walk. Look, this is me. This is my timeline. Because at the end of the day, nobody's paying my bills. Nobody is going to put food on my table. Maybe the government help out, but I want to do it on my own. But here's the thing. I had to come to terms that even before real estate, and when I look back, I said, you know what? We always pray like, Lord, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? God, what is my purpose in life? And we have always been doing our purpose. I have always been doing my purpose. I have always been the type of person to serve people. I love helping people. I'm compassionate. I'm giving. I'm kind. I want people to be happy. And I've always taking care of people. And when I look back in my life, I didn't have a whole bunch, but I had a whole bunch. And it seemed like once I stopped giving and stopped caring and started focusing on me, that's when I start going into like a deficit. And so I want you guys to know that, just hold on, keep going. And sometimes, this term is not even a new term, because I remember when I was in corporate, that's all we heard was pivot. It's okay to pivot. It's okay to, do other things. Don't quit. Like in real estate, I kind of got burned out just being a real estate agent. I needed to take a break. But then I just kind of got discouraged. But then I said, you know what, I can't, because first of all, I'm only approaching my second year. Trying to compare myself to people who have been in the business for 20, 15, 20 years, 30 years.
Right.
Comparing myself to people who are on teams. I'm not on a team. I am doing this on my own. And so, and it might be crazy. I probably should be on a team where I'm really learning from someone and they're helping me with leads and just learning all that. But I haven't been doing bad, and I know I can do better and do more. So I made a commitment to just like really put myself together. And then, you know what? I'm doing the loan signings, and I kind of was like, oh man, I fell to the bottom of the tray. with this loan sign. And I'm like, no, because I'm telling you, I've learned so much about loans, the packaging. I'm learning about people. I am just meeting, networking with people. So people are learning who Tina Strange is and what I'm about. You know, people are reaching out to me for, just all type of, I get calls all the time now. So sometimes you do have to pivot. You got to keep food on your table. You got to pay the bills.
Right.
And if it's helping you to grow, and like I said, this being a loan signing agent, people think I'm a lender, a loan consultant or something. I'm like, no, I have an amazing loan consultant, a lender who I work closely with.
Right.
She makes me learn about the loan. She will not make me, but she encouraged me to sit there and learn about the different programs and options. So when I'm speaking to my clients and when I'm giving them guidance, they know that I know what I'm talking about. And then when they go back and the lenders repeat the same thing that I've told them, then they know I'm not scamming them. I'm not just trying to make a sale, you know.
Right.
And so,
Understand.
just going back to the original question, or I just want to encourage you guys just to stand strong, keep going, don't quit. If you have to pivot, but make sure it stay in an area that keeps you on track, because you can get distracted with a whole bunch of silver coins and move away from your goal. And I've done that. And you have to find your way back. And that's what a journey is, right? Sometimes you take these long trips and there's an accident on the road.
Yeah.
You might have to detour, go a different route, but you get back on the freeway, you get back on
Yeah.
track, and then you might have a blowout, run out of gas, but you keep going. You keep going till you get to your destination. And then one thing I
Absolutely.
want to say, always make sure you have goals. And that's one of the things, if I go back, you reach a goal, but if you don't have another goal, you're gonna find yourself back. You're gonna find yourself back in the lion's den, spending money, because it's in this life, you just have to be constantly making goals. Each time you reach one, you it's like filling your pipeline, keeping your pipeline filled. You have to keep it filled, or
Absolutely.
won't have a business, you won't have a life, and then you'll be ready to just burn out.
My guest today is Tina Strange. And I love her last name because you know what? Everybody needs a little strange in their life. If you guys want to reach out to Tina after the live, obviously you can. And if whether rewatching at a later time or a later date, her number is 661-249-9316. Her number again is 661-249-9316. Tina, I have one final question that I want to ask. And this, to me, I think I'm going to ask this now going forward with my guests. Because this question, to me, I think sums up people's sense of humor, where they've come and where they've gone. What would you say was your worst job ever?
Oh my gosh, my worst job ever was, I answered this. I thought I was going for this position for customer service way back, and they got me. They were like, "Oh, are you good with a team?" I'm like, "Yeah." They were like, "Are you good with management?" I'm like, "Yeah." They were like, "We got the perfect job for you." And it was selling those different type of perfumes, those off-brand perfumes.
Mm-hmm.
And what made it the worst job is you have to stand out there, go out there on those street corners, and
Mm-hmm.
you soliciting all these people, like, what type of perfume or what type of cologne do you wear, wanting them to sample these different fragrance. But what made it worse is because, okay, you have this Okay, I was more beautiful back then.
Hey,
And so I'm out there on the street corner, and these men are honking their horns and they're stopping, but they're trying to get a date or push up on me. And it just really did not make me feel great. I mean, there were days when we had really fun when it was a group of us would go out, we would go to these different businesses or whatever. But for the most part, selling perfumes on the street corner, I had lots of jobs.
yeah. So you're no
But you
stranger.
know,
So you're no stranger to actually working on a street corner, is what you're saying.
I'm a street walker.
Hey, you said it, not me. I think
Yes,
you are a little strange, but go ahead.
but you know what? Though I said that's my worst job. No matter what job I've done, I've always had fun
Hmm.
with whatever I did. I try to make the best of it, and people, for some reason, people just love me, and that's what it makes it that much better, even the worst jobs.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah, so yeah.
You're a very interesting person. I think that if somebody is, it doesn't necessarily have to be, just here. It can really be anywhere. I'm sure you guys send referrals back and forth, different states across the United States. Um, so
Mhm.
if somebody has, if they're in New Jersey or in other parts of the country and they want to refer somebody out to you in California, I'm sure you would be amenable to that. Uh,
Yeah, yes.
it sounds like you really you found your passion worth working with first time home buyers that really don't understand the characteristics and what they really should expect with homeownership. So I think it's amazing that you actually have found your place in real estate. You've come a long way since licking envelopes since you're 7 years old and your uncle taking advantage of you and paying you zero. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Those life lessons, they really do work. They help. I try
They
to
did.
install stuff for my kids, um, or even my wife listens to me talk to my children. And they're like, I don't know. She's like, she'll say, I don't even know what the hell that was. But at the end of the day, like I know what I bring to the table for my children. My
Mhm.
father, my mother, they were not entrepreneurs. My mom was a telemarketer. My father was a salesman. He actually wrote, I believe, one of the work manuals for a New York life insurance company. So he wasn't a slouch. And they both together taught me how to become a hybrid, as far as the sales aspect of it, and being able to be social enough and talking to people. Some might say I would probably find myself in a park talking to a tree and having a conversation, but that's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to act on, I think, who you are as an individual. I think what you're doing and what you're offering is an amazing service. And I think that if anybody wants to learn more about Tina Strange, they should reach out to you directly. Your number is 661-249-9316. That is Tina's direct cell slash you can text message her. Please no inappropriate photos. She's not interested in that type of stuff. She's interested in helping people that are looking to find out options in real estate. She's not looking for a date. Or am I speaking too soon? Are you looking for a date, Tina? I don't know.
No,
No date.
no, I'm not. I have to be fair because in this business, it's hard. I now with if when you commit, especially just when you're new.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place right now. I'm doing the real estate sales with the buyers, getting a couple. I actually have some listings that I'll be doing in a couple of months. We have to wait out for some things, so we have to wait till September.
Mhm.
And doing the loan signing, that's keeping me busy. I have my 15-year-old that I have to focus on. So it's really hard right now to um, give some attention to a relationship, especially someone who is not in the business or an entrepreneur. I remember there was a time when I was just working a 9 to 5 and I was completely happy. At the time when I was with my son's dad, he's always been an entrepreneur. He's always run his own companies. And I didn't understand it. And I'm just like, you're always working. You're always working. You don't have time for us. And I hate being on the, being in a time slot on the calendar. I'm like, how you gonna put me in a time slot? Like this is not what our relationship is supposed to be about. Well, now that I have those shoes, I'm wearing those shoes. I truly understand. If you don't hustle, if you're not out there, and if your phone is not ringing, you're not making business. And if you're not bringing in business, you're not making money. And even if you get one deal, and this is what a lot of us newbies, and they tell us all the time, look, just because you get one deal, don't let that be your only deal. Like, don't get caught up on that one deal, because if it doesn't go through, or when it's over, when it closes, you starting over from scratch. And so now, there's a lot of things I'm learning or understanding what I was told from day one.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to, work my business totally different and keep my pipeline filled. I have people now, like I have a lot of title reps or people are coming just wanting to help me because they see that I'm serious. They see that I'm committed, and they're helping me to just stay on track and move upwardly.
Gotcha. Well, Tina, I appreciate you coming on. Um, the shows that I do are, well, they were Monday through Friday. Now they're uh, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays for now. Uh, every now and then I'm skipping a day here and there. We're very busy, fortunately and also unfortunately, because of what's going on in the world. And we're trying to educate as many people as we can on our end. My company offers free consultations because I feel like people really need to know what their options are and find out what they are prior to being too late. There's a lot of people that are in forbearances right now, and they're waiting to find out what happens at the end. They really should try to find out what their options are right now, why they are in a forbearance, to see if they're going to be able to keep their house, and if not, they're going to have to make special arrangements. So that's important. And if somebody wants to follow me, Tina, and if you know anybody that wants to really understand the rules, regulations, and guidelines and short sales, point them to the Short Sales 101 private page on Facebook and let them get educated just like you've been getting educated yourself. Is there anything you want to add before we say goodbye to everybody?
I do want to add this one thing again. If you guys want to reach out to me, you can follow me on Facebook. I'm under Tina Strange. I'm on Instagram under Tina Strange. I'm Tina Strange. Um, Building my website is up at tinastrange.com. I have some really good articles on there. But if this is, I do more than just first time home buyers. So if you need any help with real estate, and like Matt said, he is the short sale expert. I am leaning on him. I'm learning so much from his videos, and just
Uh,
been in the short sale. I am just you talking to the different realtors and helping us understand, because we always minimize what other people do. That's just nature. We always minimize what other people have to do until we wear those shoes, and then we're like, oh damn, really? You
right.
got to do all that. And so I'm just learning to, in this business, you have to be patient, you have to be courteous, you have to be respectful, and understand that you aren't the only one. So we have to let go of this entitlement, I'm the king or queen type mentality, and give people the respect and understand, like, we really do want to help you. I want to help you. Aside from the smiles and all that, I am serious about my business and I'm serious about helping people. And I'm not here to scam people. I'm not about shady business. I want people to become homeowners. And you can become a homeowner. You know, the right time to buy a home is when it's right for you. Only you can decide when is a good time for you to buy. Yes, follow the trend, you know, make sure you get some education, and that's what we're here for. And if I don't know some, I have plenty of people. I have Matt behind me. I know people in other states. So if you are in Georgia or Texas or whatever, I know investors, I know realtors who can help me to help you. So reach out. There is no reason for you to be silent. There is so much help out there. And so I hope that you get a lot from this video, and that you will follow us, and that you will reach out to us and let us help you if you are in trouble. Do not be the one to, because the bank is going to come for you regardless. Don't listen to what mama and them said and stop living vicariously through other people's bad experiences or their experiences. You're going to have to get up and walk your own walk in your own shoes and not be silent. Know that, yes, don't let this if you're in a tight spot, come on, the shame, you're gonna feel more shameful, and there's gonna be a bigger bruise to your ego when the marshals come throw you out. So let's not get to that point. Let us help you, because you have some options.
Well, my guest today is Tina Strange. Again, you can reach her at 661-249-9316, 661-249-9316. And always, you can reach my company 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. 866-739-3960, 866-739-3960. Tina, at the end of every one of these lives, I ask people to emulate my finger point, and I want to know if you can do it.
Emulate your finger point.
All right, I love it. I'm gonna give you an 8. I'm gonna give you an 8. You didn't do it 100% correct, but you did it with an attitude. You're like, I love it. Yeah, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it, taking time out of your busy day.
Well, thank you for having me. It was an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
You're a sweetheart. I'll see you soon. Take
I hope
care.
you got enough strange in you.
Hey, you know what? I hope you got enough strange in you.